Good morning and welcome to the November 14th worship service for the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Ben Atherton Zeman, and I am so delighted to be the minister here and even more delighted to be co-leading this worship service with the amazing Janae Johnson.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Janae Johnson, and I'm your Religious Education and Communications Coordinator here at UU St. Pete. So I want to give a special welcome to anyone who is new to our community. To provide accessibility, closed captioning is available on this YouTube service. On most devices and operating systems, you'll find the CC icon to the lower right portion of your screen.
All right, thanks, Janae. So in addition to Janae, I'm happy to be leading worship this morning with our music director, John Arterton, and James Mack, who put it all together. Now, our flaming chalice here, made by Mordecai Roth, is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, a symbol of hope, the sacred, the quest for truth, the warmth of community, the light of reason, and so much more. And before Janae lights the chalice, let's take a moment of silence to center ourselves for the worship service, after which we will say our covenant together in unison. Some of you are live outside in the front lawn, and some of you are watching from home. But wherever you are, we will say our covenant together after this moment of silence. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Thank you.
This poem is called Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about your despair, yours, and I'll tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard
We have one announcement this week. The safety team has reopened the sanctuary for in-person worship beginning November 28th. We'll finish up our front lawn worship viewing next Sunday, November 21st. The sanctuary will be open in a limited capacity. We strongly still urge the use of masks and social distancing. And for details on this and other announcements, please look at our weekly newsletter, the UU St. Pete Weekly. And this is the time in our worship service for joys, sorrows, and concerns. If you're watching this YouTube live, please type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you are out live on the lawn, please say your joys or sorrows out loud, and feel free to come up and put one of these stones into the water. So let us take a moment to center ourselves. And first we'll have a stone of joy for Ruth Bentley, who apparently is now bionic because she has metal in her back. Ruth Bentley had successful back surgery at St. Anthony's this week, and as of the taping of this Thursday afternoon, we've heard that she came through successfully. We're thrilled to hear it, Ruth, and we hope to see you soon. A stone of concern for Carolina, who is one of the women who cleans our sanctuary. She had to be brought to the hospital for an emergency surgery her intestine was blocked up. So they had to fix that, and she is now facing homelessness and does not have a place to go following her surgery. They have discharged her from the hospital, so she's staying at a friend's house. And we send you love and we send you prayers, Carolina. And finally, a third stone of concern for those who are affected by the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. It is a very emotional trial, and I think it's been very emotional for many of you. This is the young man who was accused of murdering 2 men and wounding a third during a protest against police brutality 2 years ago. And then we put a final stone for all of those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, perhaps too tender yet to be spoken aloud. And let's take one more moment of silence together. The mystery is we are connected even when we feel apart. So let us rejoice in the miracle that makes of the many one. So may it be.
Spirit of light, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Ruth, hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of light, come to me, come to me.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. eyes and courtesy all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to be free. Oh, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night. Ding ding da 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 ding ding da 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 ding ding 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 da 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 ding da 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 ding 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 ding. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly for your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Oh, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the dark black night, into the light of the dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night, blackbird singing in the dead of night. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Singing in the dead of night. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. Arise.
Truthful Retelling, Shining a Light on Our Shared Histories. Here are two books. They are exactly alike. Let's pretend they belong to Sam and Sandy, two children who are friends. This is Sam's book, and this is Sandy's book. They are exactly alike. But what happens if I rip out pages from Sam's book? It's damaged. It isn't complete anymore. And Sam will be cheated about getting the whole story. That's what's happened to the history of this country when we forget and erase parts of our history because they were about people of color. This story is damaged. The story is incomplete. It's a story that should make us all feel cheated because we don't know the whole story. The theme this month is Holding History. Our faith places truthful telling of history at the center of our principles. Two of our principles are especially connected to the truth-telling of history. In our first principle, we promise to value the worth and dignity of every person. This principle is connected to truthful telling because every person's story and history have worth and dignity. In our fourth principle, we promise to value the search for what is true. This is connected to truthful telling because we value and seek out the stories of marginalized peoples to begin to heal racism. When we want to tell the real story, it's not just that we want to be honest and want the full story. It's also because part of the story has been locked up, and by locking up the real story, we erase the people of color in the story. We not only cause pain, but we prevent their gifts from flowing out into the world. As part of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we want to resist and defy the racism in our country that wants to keep the truthful telling hidden. We want truthful telling so that we can find the broken places and also let the beauty and healing emerge. Telling the truth about history doesn't just involve telling the whole story. It also requires doing actions that repair and make up for the damage in the past. So today, we're going to continue to explore what happens when a story emerges and healing can begin. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're ready to begin.
1, 2, 3, 4.
On the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did surely go by. The one they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. Tender years and know the fears that your elders grew by, and so they'll let your youth be. They see the truth before they can lie, and teach your parents well. Their children's hell will slowly go by. They fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful rendition of Teach Your Children. Teach your children well, teach your parents well. We all come from different perspectives and have different things to teach, different things to communicate, and different things to learn. But I like how the song ends, and you know they love you. Here in this congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg, we have different voices. We have different opinions. We don't always agree, except on that we love you. We literally come together every week in almost every meeting with our covenant. And that is what binds us. And that is what has impressed me the most, that each of you has expressed your truth from your heart to me when you've met me. And it has not always agreed with other truths or with mine. But you have expressed this truth with love, and you have expressed this truth with commitment to our mission here at UU St. Pete and our covenant to be there for one another.
With every breath we are given, we are being granted a way to cope and mend with one another. Truth is, COVID has kept us apart, and many of us are hurting. Some of us have literally died while we've been apart.
Yeah, truth is, the interim work that I have been hired to do is about truth-telling. So consider this worship service a beginning to the interim work that we get to do together. The truth is, Reverend Jack is no longer the minister here. Many of you are grieving this. I'm one of them. I've had the good fortune to have a conversation or two with Jack, and he has clearly touched many of your lives. I am not him. I will try to fill his shoes, but I have different sized feet. I will try to be there for you in the way that Jack has been, but I am different than Jack. I want to understand, hear, and hold your grief, not having him here. And I want to understand, listen to, and hold your feelings about how this congregation should move. During this interim process, we will need each of you to tell the truth about our history, about the patterns, about what has worked, and maybe what you want to see different. And I am looking forward to it.
Truth is, we all are drained, and we all have been going through some form of collective trauma, either as individuals and as family.
Yeah, this has really been a violent act that has been perpetrated against all of us. And in response to violence and trauma, many of us have behaviors that are not at our best. I will try to hold each of you as we all try to process this collective grief and this collective trauma. We are stronger together.
Truth is, we don't like the truth, a truth or any truth. So we cover or erase parts of the story that make us feel fragile. We as people tend to shy away from the truth because it implies that there's an error in what we have done wrong. It implies that we have done something wrong and someone recognized it. The truth is, the truth can absolutely set us free. The freeing, healing, and truth-telling is that we are telling ourselves or allowing ourselves to be vulnerably into an emancipated flow of understanding one another. With every breath we are given, we are being granted a way to cope and mend with one another. The more we as people eschew the truth, the more damage we cause an already open wound. So what can we do differently?
How can we hold ourselves and each other as we have these collective wounds and individual wounds not related to COVID? Like, life is hard enough, and then we also have COVID. So as we reopen the sanctuary in a couple of Sundays, as we tentatively, timidly reach out to each other on the front lawn and here in this sanctuary, the truth is we are all vulnerable and we are all resilient. Blackbird, singing in the dead of night, take these sunken eyes and learn to see. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. The good thing about broken wings is we can all fly together, even if some of us have a wing that's more damaged than the other. We can all listen to our bodies, as Mary Oliver encourages us to do in her poem, Wild Geese. You don't have to be good. You can just show up. You can just listen to your body, listen to what it's telling you, remember our covenant, and know that you'll break it. And when you break it, we get to remake this covenant over and over again. Each time we say in unison, love is the spirit of this church and spirit its law. Because this is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another, I will slip up on that covenant. I will break that covenant with you, not because I want to, but because I'm human. And when I do, I want to seek a connection with you that will help repair the covenant. I hope you will do the same with me, because love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. Amen, and blessed be.
To keep our congregation thriving, let us remember our connection to one another, and let us not forget our contributions to support the means to those connections.
Yeah, if you're watching today on a mobile device or on your computer, just hover your finger or cursor in the upper right-hand corner of your screen and click on the I in the small white circle for a secure way to give. If you're out in the front lawn, then the plates are probably already being passed to you. Please give generously. If this is your first time joining us, please let the plate pass you by. This worship service is our gift to you, and your presence is your gift to us.
Thank you, Ben. And you can also donate through the Vanco Faith Engagement mobile app or on our website under the Giving tab at uustpete.org, or by sending a check to the church office. Many thanks.
Many thanks. Thank you so much, Janae, for that unbelievable worship service. It was an honor to do that with you. So now, we extinguish this chalice, if you would do that. We extinguish the chalice, but not the light that helps our minds see truth,
The warmth that helps our hearts feel the connection,
or the fire that helps us commit to a better world. We keep this light, warmth, and fire within ourselves until we meet again.